Welcome back to Alliance War. It's Season 38, War 4. Loki are facing our friends in SAS. I'm bringing my usual team of Miguel and Rhulk with a little bit of sprinkling of Anti-Venom, the most disappointing champ in my roster. I'm going to be starting off on Path 7, like I usually do, against this Conflictor Immortal Abomination. Against this Immortal Abomination, Rhulk is a very safe choice. The really only danger in this fight is pushing Immortal Abomination to a Special 3, but Special 1, Special 2s, they don't really matter since Rhulk is mostly poison immune. I mean, he just shrugs it, so who cares? But yeah, this fight is just about managing power. Rhulk doesn't really need debuffs to get its damage in. He just needs those sweet, sweet heat charges. And just avoiding that acid burn from the Special 3 is really the only dangerous part of this fight. So it's just how cooperative this guy's going to be with his specials. Here I'm kind of dancing a little bit, trying to bait out that Special 2. Finally, he throws it, and now I can keep on cooking. Yeah, pretty easy fight. I note about my mastery setup here. I only have on half a recoil tree. I put on Liquid Courage. I did not put on Double-Edged, merely because I didn't want to lose the health from the bleed. I will end up turning on Double-Edged for the full recoil tree after this fight before the next fight, which is the Kinetic Transference node. I think it's 16, and it's going to be a Longshot. So, plus, I get to end the fight on the Special 3, which we all know that I love to do. All right, so yeah, now we got this Longshot. This is a super easy fight. I had the quick mastery change that I edited out because who wants to watch me do that nonsense? And I'm just going to pound this Longshot to death. If he's going to throw a special, depending upon the karma, I can dex the Special 1. Alternatively, the Special 3 shouldn't kill me. If you'll notice, I did lose my indestructible boost. The reason being, there's a strategy for this fight wherein you just push Longshot to a Special 3, take the Special 3 with the end wall boost, and move on with your life. No big deal. All right, next up, Mordo on 25. I'm going to be switching over to Miguel, since, as we know, Miguel is a hard counter to Mordo anywhere on the map. I just check the nodes here to see if there's anything dangerous. I mean, the most problematic node on this fight is Power Snack, which Miguel completely bypasses since he is buff immune. And I go into the fight, and oh, whoops, I forgot to change my masteries. So I left on the recoil tree for this fight. I didn't notice it right away. It took me a minute, and I was like, wait a minute, where did I lose all my health from? Normally, I don't have them on in Miguel fights because he doesn't have a high health pool, and I want to keep my health for when I inevitably make a mistake, and like I will in this fight here. Boom. Gotta love it. But this Mordo is going to die anyway, and all it did was cost me some potions. So I reset my masteries before I move on to this Peni fight, which Peni doesn't get really any benefit from any of the nodes here, so whatever. I fought Peni with Miguel every war so far. I'm kind of hunting her all over the map, and this fight is over right now. Yep, it's over as soon as it begins. There's absolutely no danger to this fight. As I've said before, let me just say it again. Their play styles interact perfectly in the sense that Peni wants her block to be hit, and all Miguel wants to do is hit block. So it's very, very easy fight. Honestly, I sped it up as much as I could. I wish I could have sped it up even faster, but unfortunately, this is all that iMovie will let me do. So we have to sit here for this interminable length of time while I dance around and beat her down without really losing any health. I don't even think I used a potion between this fight and the next fight. I think I just went straight in. Yeah, I mean, what else is there really to say? It's like watching a Quake fight, man. It's really the height of boredom. And I'll finish her off with a Special 2. Oh, no, I won't. A little surprise to me. She just leaves a little bit left for me for the beatdown. All right, now I can finally move on out of that boring garbage to this next fight. DragonMan, another nothing defender against Miguel. None of these nodes really matter except for that Hard Knock Life. Hard Knock Life means it's going to put a disorient on me when I parry, or that's probably why the DragonMan is placed on this node is because typically you remove DragonMan's power buff by parrying him. I don't want to parry him. I don't want the disorient. So to bypass that little interaction, you can do one of two things. You can use any champ and then just take the specials on block. That'll remove the power gain buff. Or you can just use like a Miguel who reverses the power gain and beat the DragonMan down into existence. Yeah, I made a mistake a little bit earlier in this fight. Took a couple hits. It's not really that big of a deal. This fight is pretty much over. I generally, when I fight DragonMan, will take his special one on the block because it gives you this debuff, and that's just free. That does nothing to you, and it's free willpower healing, so whatever. Next, we move on to node 39. This is a Mighty Charge intercept node. I'm not going to do it with Miguel because of the Mighty Charge component. I'm going to do it with rhulk. I can tell you I fought 8,000 Magnetos with rhulk over the years. There was a meta, I forget which one it was, several seasons ago, where Magneto was always placed on node 49, the hazard shift node, mini node, and I just took that with rhulk like every single war. So I'm just very comfortable with how the animations between these two characters present itself. So it's just about getting a few intercepts, baiting the SP1s, and just going to Pound Town against poor Magneto here. Interesting note here is that Magneto's conduit. I threw a special 3 coming up. Generally speaking, a special 3 will have an incinerate debuff placed on the defender, but I only have 2 heat charges. So the incinerate does not proc, but I still get to do some big damage from the special 3 because we all know I love a good rhulk beatdown. Yeah. So just a couple more intercept combos and this fight should be finished. There's really not much to say about it. I mean, these are easy fights. I mean, I was approaching these first, I guess, 6 fights as though they were sort of like a warm-up, a prelude to the next fight that I'm about to do, which is this Hyperion on node 51. That's the Conflictor node. And the reason is, A, Conflictor is a pain in the ass. B, I haven't done this particular fight before, but I got the guidance pre-fight that I need from my good friend Yusafa, talked a little bit to Karate Mike about the strategy, and outside of one mistake, I was able to really kind of get this fight under control. Again, I'm using Power Start 1 because my goal is to get to that SP2 as quickly as I possibly can so I can get up the Wither, because once I get up the Wither, the fight is essentially over. So parry heavy to trigger Conflictor, throw the SP2, now I have my Wither buff, and the fight's over, because now I'm going to be reversing his natural power gain. I'm also going to be reversing the power gain from Conflictor. So really the only thing that I really need to do here is ensure that I keep up the Wither. You'll see that I got back to a special 2 really quickly. 2 reasons. Number 1, I have on my science power back boosts, which are increasingly valuable. The other part of it is that in Miguel's kit, under his SIG ability, when he has a Wither up, his combat power rate increases. So it's easier to get back to your special 2. All right, moving on, we have this Rintrah on node 54. I've been fighting a lot of Mephistos this season. This is the first time we see Rintrah here, and I was like thankful that I was going to get a break from the Mephisto dance with his soul imprisonment, and lo and behold, I did not anticipate when I planned this fight that I would have a similar sort of issue, namely that the neutralizes that Rintrah is putting on me when I come into contact with him, including when I hit him, are preventing the dexterity buff in the same way that soul imprisonment would prevent the dexterity buff. And so it's not pausing my debuffs in the manner that I'm choosing. So that's super annoying, and it just means that it's a bit more dangerous of a fight. And the reason being is that with Mephisto, you only have to worry about the soul imprisonment if you get tagged by the SP1. Now, obviously, I've been tagged by the SP1 like 8,000 times this season. But for Rintrah, it's literally every hit is proccing a new neutralize. And so that's just really annoying. I I fought a lot of Rintrah, in not only in war but in battlegrounds, and so I'm really comfortable with understanding how he works as a defender. So I'm not particularly once I realized that sort of interaction, I didn't get scared, really worried. I mean, as you can see, he's under 50% health and I'm at 99% health. I mean, and I'm heavying him when I need to in order to keep his mystic charges down. It's not a particularly hard fight. It's just an annoying fight. I mean, I could see why the placement's here is because of that neutralize effect, and Rintrah is daunting as a defender. He has a very high health pool and a lot of resistances. But overall, I mean, just pushing him to the special 2 and doing the decks in the corner and moving on with my life. Yeah, pretty easy fight. 4 Loki is going to go on to beat our friends in SAS. Good war to them. Thankfully we were able to prevail. I don't know what else there much is to say as this fight sort of plays itself out. But enjoy the rest of the video, and I will see you in the next live chat.